Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the MCC Summer Circuit play-ins. We're continuing with some more upper round one action as we have OKWU versus Michigan coming up. Hopefully, y'all were around when the other game was playing just barely an hour or so ago or something like that. But myself and Dancing Banana are back, and we're gearing up for another game.
Yeah, and we're really hoping that this one shares the excitement, 50% of what we saw in the last game, because that was it was a fun watch. Unless you were a fan of those teams, then you might be having a couple of heart palpitations. But I think we have a bracket here. We can kind of show what we're talking about instead of trying to hint along what's been going on. But TLDR, Delaware are finally able to get a series win here in the MCC, going 4-3 to Game 7 against Texas Tech. But what does that mean? Well, it means life for Texas Tech just got that tiny bit harder. And now they're going to be playing with one life for the rest of their time here in the summer circuit. Delaware, on the other hand, they're only one game away, two chances to make their way into the playoffs and see if they can make a bit of a miracle run.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is one thing, especially myself, I've been drumming up that these teams coming in through the play-ins are no slouches, all things considered. Obviously, the top seeds are the ones that made it into the playoffs. They're the ones who are already starting their double elimination bracket, and that's why these teams are qualifying. They did end up being the third and fourth seeds in their groups, but that does not mean that you can count them out, even if the first upper round for them doesn't go well. That Texas Tech team can still make it through, get to that playoff C spot, and make it into lowers for the main event, I guess you could say. But you will have to wait and see, because right now we're gearing up for an OKWU versus Michigan match that, again, hopefully is able to match some of the chaos, some of the fun, some of the maybe whimsy, some of the. I mean, I could keep fishing for adjectives, but hopefully it's going to be a good series.
Yeah, I think it's fair to believe that's going to be a good series here. But OKWU and Michigan have both they've had different stories here in the summer circuit, but the end result's kind of been the same. OKWU were a team that, disappointing spring, but they had a good start here. They beat UCF in Game 5. They beat Delaware in Game 5. But then they just needed to simply get to Game 4, maybe Game 5 against Kansas State, and they would have had probably into the top 2 and been in the playoffs. But they got swept, and honestly, they never looked like they had any control in that series, and they're here in the play-ins. They went from 0 to 0 so quickly. But Michigan, on the other hand, they were part of the messy group of Group C, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Group C was, if you guys were here for week 3, Group C was 1-1 the whole way through. It was genuinely in that week 3, a winner takes it and moves into the upper playoffs, and, well, loser does unfortunately get knocked down to here, and Michigan not quite able to do it. So even with some, match series stuff, even with some possible head-to-heads, not going to be able to help them in that case. And well, now they're down here, and hey, they've got a point to prove, because that group very close together, which, truthfully looking at it, does mean that any team could have taken it. So they're gonna have to make this run to prove that that other game was just a fluke.
Yeah, but I think players are ready in the lobby now. But let's give our preds before we move on. I guess, Nivek, who do you think's gonna win this one?
I listen. These are two, I feel like, decently matched teams, especially if we're going to see an OKWU that we know we can see. But I think at the end of the day, I do have to go with Michigan.
Yeah, well, on my side, I will be going the opposite side. I'm gonna keep on giving my delusion, my belief in OKWU. But as we're gonna say that, we got some players joining into the lobby here. We got a match going underhead. OKWU on the blue, Michigan on the orange, as kickoff goes underway, and it'll be a pretty neutral one, but AJ will be the first one there. Trying to take a shot early. It's just gonna be in right away, and Michigan starts the scoring off in less than 5 seconds.
They start the scoring off right away, and in quite the card, might I add, the Acto. AJ jumping on that opportunity right off of kickoff, and he's been rocking it. I feel like the entire
it's the only car I've seen.
See, yeah, so man, he's confident in the card that he uses, and he will keep using it. I hope that if they keep making this run through the tournament, they do so, because it's always great seeing a little bit of variety in some of the card choices.
Yeah, 100%. But right now, it's going to be AJ trying to put the shot on. Gets covered by NK. It's going to be Skeleton Jack there, who is SK, I should mention. So, familiar face, new name. But no, that's the one going up. In the Dignitas. Oh, okay, that one's another one. Michigan, though, is scoring again. It's going to be AJ again. And right now, Michigan is coming in hot.
Michigan is coming hot indeed. I mean, I think in that case, it's just a little bit too much power for the defense to handle. Still able to just reach up and grab it, but not quite able to hold on. Not looking like the keepers that have been showing up throughout the entirety of the World Series. But nonetheless, this Michigan team are really trying to make a statement as this best-of-7 continues.
Yeah, but that's another shot that's on target. We'll go off the crossbar this time, but a bit of a worry there. And right now, it's OKWU that's playing this back foot defense, and honestly, they have not been successful with it. But AJ has to put the shot in the corner. It will be pinched out, but they will stick around. Good 50 into the OKWU side, though. But Knight's there. Past one. Elro meets it. And right now, though, OKWU, it's not comfortable, but they finally stabilize in this game.
They are able to stabilize, but it's whether or not they can hold on to it, because AJ is looking center. He's looking for his teammates. He's been doing some scoring, and now he's trying to do some assisting, as it will take a temporary moment just to switch onto defense. As, again, AJ, as I was just talking about, controlling the ball, just pushing it forward. No Dark getting the touch. Not going to be the strongest in the world, but nonetheless able to clear it out. Some shots getting wrung out here. AJ able to push it off to the side. Doesn't have any boost, so probably looking at just a little bit of a possess. Does get past one. Oh, able to pop it up. I don't think there's a follow-up there. And NK, he's going to see what he can do. Does get the 50, but that is immediately heading back to the other side.
Yeah, OKWU, after his first 30 seconds, have finally found their footing in this game. Right now, it's going to be Skeleton Jack trying to make something. Can't do it. AJ is getting a big touch there, but Knights all the way back. It's not going to be a worry. What do they do? Pop it high. Can they get a pass? Yes, they can. Into the corner where NK's waiting, and it will be center, but Elro will be the only one there. Drops it up to AJ, but there's a bit of a team bump. It's going to make things a bit more dicey for the side of Michigan, but in the end, Knight will be high, actually. Skeleton Jack down. NK's not near. It's just going to be no Dart sticking with this ball, and the offense dies here for OKWU. But right now, it's going to go to the back wall. It's going to be over to Elro, puts it into the middle. And right now, it's going to be no. Finally putting a shot on. No, it's going to be a bit high. And OKWU have got to get something going their way. And, well, a touch like that, maybe they can break through. But no, it's AJ. Puts it NK to the right. Ooh, Skeleton Jack just trying to jump on through. At the moment, it's going to be Knight trying to do their thing. We'll clear it out. Skeleton Jack, can you do it? But it's just going to clear to the corner. And right now, it's going to be another clearance. And at the moment, it's going to be this midfield battle. It's going to the side of OKWU. It's a 1-on-2. It's a flick that's way too high. And Raul, another shot, but no, it gets saved again. No, our good savior is going to be Yankee trying to put it to a teammate, but there's no teammate there. It's going to be Michigan surviving, even if it's a bit dangerous. It's a bit worrying, but in the end, it's still going to be Skeleton Jack and his team trying to make a play happen, but a 50 there that goes the way of OKWU means it has to be time played. It has to be a slowdown, and Michigan are finally able to break out.
They are able to break out, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be any release of some possible returns that OKWU might be able to grab here. In this case, a little bit of a solo effort, faking it high, going down and doing that just little pop, able to slot it top right corner. NK is going to start OKWU off with their first goal and hopefully get them back into this game.
Yeah, and is that a fake kickoff I just saw? It doesn't mean, I mean, it doesn't amount to much, but it's good to see a bit of kickoff strats with NK. It's a bit of a double commit, actually, but Skeleton Jack will stick around. Can he get a little touch pass? Yes, AJ gets broken through. It's going to be a 50 that goes not the worst way in the world if you were OKWU, but you need a goal now. It's a minute left, and ever since that first 30 seconds, it's been a much better look as a squad. But right now, Noah's trying to center to Elro, and just a shot that's off target. It's one that they wish they had. It's a bit of bumping, it's a bit of awkwardness, and AJ's finally able to score. It's a 2-goal lead once more for Michigan, and with how the scoring's been going, it's going to be a difficult one for OKWU.
Yeah, honestly, a really smart play here from AJ. He was kind of rushing to it and then decided to back off, figuring that there'd be people diving, there'd be people trying to reach for the ball. And in that case, able to clear up the defense pretty handily and capitalizing on that opportunity, giving them that 2-goal lead back. We'll have to see if OKWU can do anything to respond just as they did, but I mean, they only have 30 seconds left, so they've got to kick it into gear.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one, but at the moment, it's going to be Knight trying to put this out. Gets a touch, but it's not a teammate there. It's going to be Elro, in fact. Skeleton Jack's touch. She's going to go out to AJ, and as more time gets burnt, it becomes a slight bit harder, and as more time gets burnt, it becomes a bit more tangible for Michigan this game one, and as these final 10 seconds waver away, unless NK can make something happen, he cannot, and Michigan, it's a game one that they start off hot in the first 30 seconds, they cooled down a bit, but they're able to secure it there in the final end, and game one goes their way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times the first team to score is the one that really starts off with the momentum and really starts getting things moving. In this case, I think Michigan just was that. They knew that they could really take this momentum in swing. They knew that they could really hold on to this, especially, I'm pretty sure that first goal was essentially a kickoff goal, if I'm correct. So
Yeah, effectively was.
So, getting that goal nice and early, making sure that you're up, it almost feels like you have a handicap in a way. It's a great way to get some good confidence going into a series.
Yeah, but someone who doesn't have confidence right now is Skeleton Jack. That's a 36 points regulation game. That is not one that you want to repeat if you are him. But I have a feeling that, it's going to be hard to repeat. If he repeats, I'm genuinely impressed. Let's be real. But I think as we're going to get our way here into the next game, we'll see what goes on. And, well, as we're going to Forbidden Temple, we'll see what happens.
See if any kickoff, anything. I don't know what other words to put to it. I keep saying shenanigans, but I kind of want to change it up a bit. Let's see if any planned kickoffs come through here or something that will give anyone some positive possession. I mean, Knight is going to be on the receiving end of that, but no boost will have to give it away, and that does mean that Michigan are going to start on a little bit more of the attacking front. Nodart might turn on this, does get the 50, but Skeleton Jack behind it. NK ripping a shot, and maybe this might be a counterattack opportunity. AJ's there trying to pop it over, not quite going to get the follow-up he wanted, and Skeleton Jack able to push it out. Nodart diving early, and we might be seeing a little bit more of the back and forth that as the stealing shot comes in, it will bounce off the backboard. As I was about to try and calm down the casting, it seems like Skeleton Jack wants to pick up the pace, and in the best way possible, it leads to a goal.
Hey, Skeleton Jack, you're double your points from last game in 34 seconds. Congrats, man. But no, it's a start that you'd like if you are OKWU. You get the thing early, and Skeleton Jack scoring a second one. This guy's showing that game one was a fluke from him, as they get their 2-goal lead in 30 seconds, give or take.
Yeah, a complete reversal, all things considered, from what we saw last game. Last game, it was Michigan that was on the positive side of these kickoffs, and now maybe OKWU's sitting there and saying, if you guys are going to try and do something sneaky, maybe we'll make sure we can return fire as fast as possible, and it has worked. And all things considered, OKWU bringing a little bit of creativity, especially with that ceiling pinch. So maybe that variety, maybe just some surprise, maybe some just a little bit, I don't want to call it unorthodox, but just some off the typical plays might be what OKWU looks to do. Although that pinch does come through. Skeleton having to dive back, and he's able to push it out.
Yeah, that was a really impressive pinch, I can't lie, but right now, it's clearing by Knight, but it's going to be AJ there. Control touch, can't quite do anything with it. Skeleton Jack clears it well. Right now, Michigan, they're figuring out their midfield a bit better than OKWU, I feel like. OKWU, I think, just had some really big breakaways that led to the goals, but right now, it's the break for Michigan as AJ's able to make this lead half of what it was prior.
Yeah, good boost steal there, making that last defender, essentially, a little bit awkward. There was one more that I don't know if the camera showed it there. AJ was kind of just driving around in the area, maybe threatening a bump or a demo, and it was enough to shoot it near post, get that goal through. So a good comeback here from Michigan as AJ will send this forward. No Dart able to get the 50. Algo trying to just keep throwing it midfield. Not going to be it, but NK is going to pick this up. Trying to look for something center. Not quite going to be there. And it looks like we're going to start getting a little bit more pressure here from Michigan.
Yeah, but NK trying to clear this ball out. Cannot do so. It will be Knight getting to it first. Takes it up the sidewall. No Dart, though. Jumps on it, pounces on it, tries to center it, cannot do it. AJ back into the corner. Skeleton Jacks are waiting. Still sticking around, but it's a teammate now taking the spot and decides to opt to take themselves out of the play. It's Michigan starting to camp up, anchor themselves, but the moment I say that Skeleton Jack gets a good touch to clear it, AJ has to be careful. NK, they had an open opportunity, I feel like, there. Well, OKWU, they're going to try to set up their own camp here.
Yeah, well, and hopefully it's something that they can hold on to. A lot of those shots prior were kind of like sporadic, a little bit spur of the moments that led to the scoring, especially one of them resulting right off of a kickoff. So their longer sustained pressure has not resulted in anything yet, although AJ trying to look for a double here to maybe make it so that I start talking about his team more. Not going to make it to the back of the net, but nonetheless, it does seem like some good shots are starting to come through from Michigan.
Yeah, some good shots are definitely coming through. It's going to be at the moment, though. NK trying to take this up. No Dart will be there, gets 50 though, and Skeleton Jack, not enough boost, does not feel confident sticking around. AJ though takes a very slow run, gives plenty of time to get just bump straight off Knight. Their shot won't be effective, and NK though gets a B. No Dart with low boost, but it's okay because the teammate's there to assist. It's actually AJ trying to go all the way. Can he do it? No. NK clears it out. Oh, No Dart's turn into the corner, but it will get cleared up high. It's gonna be time. It's gonna be space, but will get covered quickly, but it's control. It's a musty actually from Skeleton Jack, but NK's there, and well, the clearance does happen, but Michigan, no. This midfield has been very solid from them. They're making sure that they are locked down, that there is very much a wall, but the moment I say that they're having to make a save of their own and a boost miss there, suddenly means the OKWU can start making their own stoppage.
They can indeed. It looks like Skeleton Jack trying to do something of his own, although that 50, not the most favorable in the world, does mean that they'll be heading back to their own side. No Dart camping that top left boost and want to make sure that that starving starts really coming through. They know that one thing, this OKWU team, they won't let up, so making sure that they're deprived of their boost is what they need. And No Dart, maybe a little bit of luck coming in there, falling right exactly where that shot was going to happen. And a lot of Michigan players, no boost. They're going to have to try and figure something out as this OKWU team now goes on the offense.
Yeah, this OKWU team does go on the offense, but at the moment, it's 20 seconds here. It's a bit of time, but Knight is going to try to make sure that it gets withered away. It's another quarter of it gone. It's about to hit the 10-second mark, and it's going to be a bit harder. 0 seconds is still an option, but it's never one you want to put the house on. But at the moment, NK will be the one to take control, and with that, it's going to be a difficult one all the way. No Dart's touch will keep it high, but the first person there will be the floor. OKWU tie the series up 1-1, and we got ourselves a game.
Yes, we do. And truthfully, I feel like OKWU kind of just did a little bit of solidifying coming into this second game. I do think they sort of maybe ended up a little bit on a not the back end, but just a little surprised by what happened in that game one. And in this case, taking advantage of kickoff goals. That's something that maybe we're going to see through the rest of this series. It seems as though so far, I mean, in this case, OKWU was the one who had the kickoff goal, and they ended up winning by 1. So kickoff's very important in this game. We'll have to see if that's something that shows up later on.
Yeah, 100%. But it looks like Skeleton Jack, did they do a car swap? So that they left and joined.
They might
So
have.
it'd be really interesting to see. What car do you think Skeleton Jack would pull out?
What is he? He's been rocking the Fennec. Maybe he's switching to Octane. I'm to see. Sometimes people feel a little bit lighter switching to Octane.
Maybe. Could be an Octane. That'd be a good shout.
I don't know. We will obviously just have to see as we get into game number 3, heading on over to Utopia Coliseum. absolutely beautiful map to get this free action going as we do a little bit of stalling for the map to players to get themselves set up, but we will get underway here. They've had a lot happen right off of kickoff. Don't know if anything like it is going to happen this time around. No, this ball will get played in the midfield before it goes anywhere else, and we are underway.
Yeah, it looks like Knight did a bit of a name change to NT. They will still be Knight, but at the moment it's going to be a clear out. Knight, can they get to this? No, it will be Snowdart putting into the corner again, but OKWU already has the offense, but AJ is able to take it out. Elro gets a good touch out, and suddenly it's an open F. They're not careful. NK will be the first one to it, making sure that there isn't an issue, but Snowdart, good little touch, and it's a no boost actually for Knight here. It makes things a bit more difficult. And again, Michigan, I feel like this has been their strongest suit all series long. This midfield has worked them wonders, but at moments like this where it's a bit hard, it does mean that their last man has to work a bit to make sure that they don't get scored on.
Yeah, it's always good to have a decent amount of pressure, especially in the midfield. That is where most of the play is going to happen, unless you are, like, say, at Texas Tech or something like that, where you're a little bit more defensive, maybe being a little bit more reactive, and being able to, set the pace, set the speed of the game by controlling the midfield. Always an amazing thing, as we do look at a center here. Knight able to follow it up, not going to get the second touch, but even with some pretty good possession in this midfield, pretty good control of where they're putting the ball, where contact is going to be made, this OKWU team still looking for their opportunities.
Yeah, they are still looking for opportunities, but at the moment, Knight's trying to put a shot on it. Will be Elro clearing this ball out. And no, that 50 will go very fortunate. Knight's there. Shot. AJ, big save. And it was an opportunity there that Knight, if just placed a bit better, probably would have been a goal in all honesty. But at the moment, that's not where the thoughts are. It's the thoughts of trying to keep this offense alive. NK tries. Elro misses. AJ puts it up high. But NK is there. It's going to be Knight now back up. Shot will not be anywhere close. Skeleton Jack just opts to put it middle, and it's Elro's turn to clear it out. And right now, Michigan, they're working a bit to make sure they don't get scored on, but a good clear there suddenly means that OKWU have to go the full length of the field again.
They do, but I feel like they're honestly immediately jumping on the opportunities, and I will say I do think that we have a Rule 1 happening in the Michigan corner, so we'll get a little bit of 2v2 action here as Elro tries to get a little bit of an air dribble touch on net, a boost stolen, and we'll have to see a race for this other boost. Not going to be met, not something that OKWU wants to see, although that's a big touch, so might get a little bit of room to breathe. Again, corner boost being stolen, but possession does hand itself away. And Michigan, they're going to have to start from their own back wall as we continue our 2v2 action.
Who do you think wins this one? Because it's AJ and Knight that's taking out the game. So it's like some pretty big players. You know?
That's a tough question. This is probably something I don't know about these players playing in any other game mode besides these.
That is...
So this is a good opportunity, although there might be a bump coming through. I think we might have had a little bit of breakage of the Rule 1 by a teammate, not by the players. So players are not at fault for any Rule 1s being broken. But we will return to our normal broadcast here as AJ and I forget who the other was comes back into play.
Knight.
Okay.
Yep. So it will be right now though. AJ trying to put something. Will just be very lateral. Skeleton Jack actually tries to put this shot on. Will be a bit high. Knight's turn. It will be in. And, well, I think it was a Michigan player who broke it. I think they're wishing they didn't do that now.
They might be, although in that case, I do feel like Elro probably not really making a touch that is too favorable. Looking to force that off to the side and just barely skimming past his car. Which, I mean, that leads to a decently open net with all the OKWU players all together, and a demo coming through. A little bit of a scuffed offensive attack here from OKWU, but they are the ones with the goal up, so as long as they keep the ball on the other side, or at least keep possession in a more favorable way, they're more than golden for this game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, winner goes 2-1 in the series here, so it's a big one. Knight doesn't get the touch. Will be AJ getting a good 50. It's now Elro's turn, but Skeleton Jack just jumps on it early, sees that they have time. But now it's going to be Nodar trying to clear this ball out. But again, it's just these touches aren't really giving possession well for the side of Michigan. It's a bit heavy at times, and it makes things a bit hard for them, especially when there's 30 seconds left on the clock and you need to get yourself a goal. You really need to work for it. But 1B, Elro shot will get saved by Nuki and NK. It will be now up high. Next person will be Knight. Puts it to the side. It will be AJ though to beat, but with 10 seconds remaining, time becomes of the essence, and, well, we've seen it before. Can they do it this time around? Skeleton Jack will be there. It's a 50, and it's going to be to no man's land, but a bounce high means that there's an opportunity. Oh, well, never mind. I lied.
That was an immediate challenge. They not
They
even
knew
a
what to
chance
do.
for possession.
They knew
What to do. They needed to run the ball, and, well, they sent it immediately to the ground to secure this, only one goal in a game, which I feel like that's probably pretty standard for what we expect from an OKWU game. They're not high flying and scoring 500 goals in a matter of seconds. If they get a goal, they're very happy to sit on it and make sure that they can solidify the rest. So pretty normal game, I'd say, all around from OKWU. I think they're starting to settle in pretty well.
Yeah, they definitely are settling in pretty well. I think Michigan, though, they're the ones that need to make a bit of adjustments on their sides. A bit of adjustment, I would say, probably their touches have been a bit heavy. I think it's fair to say, right? There's been moments, I think, I'm looking at Nodar, especially Elro, those two. They get a touch, and it's not heavy enough to be a proper clear, but it's not light enough that they can get an easy follow-through of their, command. It's more like, it just feels like it's a bit more of a pass over to OKWU. It's a bit of a half-hearted attempt, and I think I trolled the map. Oh, God. Well,
That's fine.
We're back on Utopia. There definitely wasn't supposed to be another one here. But as we run into back, it's fine. Okay, game 4. It's an important one here for Michigan. If they lose, they're on match point for OKWU, so gotta be a bit careful.
Definitely have to be a bit careful, and I very much so agree with the demos that are coming through. Although
nice!
I might not agree with the shot that just was put on net. I do agree with what you're saying in the sense that I think Michigan needs to take advantage of what they can do in the midfield and get some pressure and then maybe score. That sounds like a pretty good plan.
Yeah, it worked out really well, but I mean, you gotta laugh it off if you're OKWU. You gotta be nice. You gotta shrug it off that you just missed. Probably one of the more open shots of the series, I'd say. But at the moment, it will be now. NK on the ball. Touch will be a bit light though, and what is happening on the pitch? How many people have died? What? Can we get a value estimate on these cars? How much has been lost in property damage? It must be fairly high.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we do have one real car on the pitch.
Yeah, are we gonna use that?
The Octane as a real car.
Well, we have an IRL
Octane.
car. Yeah.
Can
we get an estimate on how much that costs?
Here, so we might be seeing a decent bit. I hope these players have insurance, probably Progressive. We do know that is a common sponsor for those Rocket League fans, but some shot attempts are coming through. They're not quite making it to the back of the net, but OKWU, at least right now, they're holding on to some decent pressure.
Yeah, but the moment you say that, no, Skeleton Jack's able to break it off. But Elro, though, make sure that you can eat your words. But at the moment, there's a double commit, though, which means that Nodar with low boost has to be the one to play it alive. But a good little touch there to the side towards AJ means that there really won't be an offense made by OKWU. And Skeleton Jack is able to break it. It will be another Elro high touch, but Nuki, NK, will be the one to it first. AJ breaks past one. Skeleton Jack, can you 50 this well? Plays it low, and the 50 will just opt into a back pass, but the waterfall opportunity here won't get properly read enough. And still Michigan on the defense, but there hasn't been a proper shot on target in a little while.
No, there hasn't. I mean, right now, OKWU's sitting at 4 shots, which is obviously a good sign, but none of them really making the kind of contact they want, or at least not making it in the places that they want, because right now Michigan, even with those 2 saves, still able to hold on to things, as Nodart possibly getting a shot opportunity here. No, NK with a beautiful save. This team, though, a little low on boost, as Elro able to get the flip reset, but no one's there to follow it. And in this case, OKWU is holding on, but not for long, as this sustained pressure has finally paid off.
Yeah, it's an absolutely big one for Michigan. It's a 2-goal lead, and that's going to be a hard one to break through. Game 1, they were in the same situation just a bit earlier, but now, if you are OKWU, you are on the back foot. It is a bit more difficult than it was prior. But a kickoff like that means that Nodar will be the one towards it. Who's going to be there first? It will be Knight, and the 50 will go to Skeleton Jack, who over to the side. Elroda will meet it, clears it out. NK on the sidewall won't be onto it, but it's actually a shot opportunity here, but will get cut off. And right now, OKWU do not feel like they're particularly urgent, but AJ is trying to make them feel the urgency at the moment.
Well, and truthfully, I do feel like that urgency is kind of like, it might be a little bit of a hindrance right now. I do think that at a certain point, you have to sit there and try and pick up the pace a little bit. You do have to try and maybe just increase or be a little bit more aggressive. And I think Michigan is just having an absolute heyday with it because they're jumping on opportunities. Even though this ball is like, it's taking time to get to each of the players, they know they can cut it off. Even if it means not being in a proper rotation or jumping in front of a player as Nodar, almost getting an opportunity there, but just wide. It just, I mean, I feel like it just shows, especially with something that we just saw there, like they're jumping on these opportunities and OKWU's kind of letting them get away with it.
Yeah, it feels like OKWU's like, they just don't have like, they don't recognize that they need to like start rushing things a bit. They don't have the offensive push right now that they really need. Skeleton Jack's trying to change that. But with a minute remaining, the recognition is coming that, well, they need to start making something happen. They need to be a bit bold. They need to be a bit risky. They need to be brave as well. Skeleton Jack off to the ceiling will be Knight, but NK can't read it, but Knight will be able to score, and well, a bit of decoys sent out will lead eventually to a goal.
It will. NK almost getting a double there. Very close to that read, but still just enough that that offense, or the defense, I should say, a little awkward. Offense close enough to the ball to capitalize on the opportunity, and a bump coming through here might give Skeleton Jack a solo opportunity. Is he going to be able to follow it up? No, it is going to bounce just in front of the net. Although this team losing, and NK, I would say at the last second, able to jump in and steal that goal.
I don't know if I'd say steal that goal. I feel like they might have had that one out, but it's 2-all all of a sudden in 30 seconds, like 10, 15 seconds, it's been a sudden change. There's going to be a goal opportunity here. No, Darto puts it underneath. It's a shot, it's a goal. Miller's able to get that goal back that he really wanted earlier on, and at a crucial time.
I mean, that was, I mean, awkward. I think that might be a
I'm
good
surprised
word to
that
use
NK
here,
went on the
that-
wall there.
Yeah, I think he was expecting like, oh yeah, someone's going for a pinch. I got to be right behind the ball because it'll deflect off of me or something like that. But in that case, going slow enough that happened to be in an awkward position, happened to be in a spot that jumping off would throw you off, waiting would be throw you off. It just wasn't a good look, and in that case, Michigan can jump on it, although this will be in front of the net, and it doesn't look like anyone can capitalize on it. We're going to jump down to these last 5 seconds as AJ able to get the 50, and he's probably going to look to send this close to the net, but into the ground. That's the most important part of it, and Michigan able to tie up this.
OKWU made them sweat for it, though. Man, it was a close one there at the very end. But it's 2-all. We're effectively playing a BO3 at this point, but momentum's odd in this year, I think it's fair to say. Because I mean, Michigan won. They feel momentum from that, but at the same time, that's a game they nearly threw off into the distance. So they're probably just feeling relief.
Yeah, I do think that, although all things considered, I do think there is a decent amount of throwage. Is that a word? Throwage?
Throwage.
Throwage.
That just sounds like a roughage.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of misplays. There you go. I'll use that word. That happened on both of these sides. I think about the second goal from OKWU and then the missed goal opportunity early on in the game, that both sides, like, they had their chances to control the game a little bit more, and they just weren't able to jump on it.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, to kind of forget the past now. If you are these squads, you have this game on Aquadome here. It's arguably the most important of the series. It is the one that determines, are you on match point, or are you the one who has to win 2 in a row? But as kickoff goes underway, let's find here in game 5 who is going to be the one playing with the advantage for the rest of the series effectively. As AJ will stick with the ball. And well, it's a bit dead here. Well, I say that in some flick, but it you know, can you go back to that thing you're trying to say before I cut you off? Because I feel like that might be useful.
And I think what you said was great. I think what you said was very important, and it added a lot to what happened as AJ able to take good possess. He was very low on boost, so I would say essentially a 0 boost flick there. Absolutely, that's what happens when you have a long car. You can get some good height on those flicks, but we will be getting back into this action that's not immediately off of kickoff, as this series has shown to absolutely love doing that, as No Dart doing a nice backflip to keep behind the ball, and NK is going to take possess, but immediately get challenged by Elro. Trying to get a little bit of a skim touch there. Not going to be what he wants, and right, going to have to get a little bit of a diving save, as this will roll in front of the net. No one able to make contact, and that touch not going to be the best from both ends, I should say, as I think we're safe to say we're recovered from this.
Yeah, but that's the second time now that had an open one that they just absolutely missed. But I mean, it's a try by Knight, I believe it was, that almost goes through, but can't quite. But it's still a goal lead for Michigan. They'll just cope with that for now. But at the moment, they are able to pass one. NK gets beat out too. Suddenly, it's an opportunity. Suddenly, it's a second goal, and you might have missed one earlier, but you're able to fix that right up here.
Absolutely, and I mean, in this case, getting that 2-goal lead, I feel like in this series, I mean, probably doesn't really mean too much, but generally, when you're on the positive end of that 2-goal lead, even with a little bit of kickback from the other team, you've been on the winning side of things. So we'll have to see if that will be the same. But I'm just gonna stop talking, because Skeleton Jack has other things in mind.
You know, I feel like the caster curses have been pretty chill tonight. I think this is the first game where they properly have gone under Y. I think it's fair to say. But hey,
yeah.
Unfortunate that's happening in a match. What will make someone match point? Yeah. So apologies to both teams. At least we're not biased, and we're doing it to both.
This is true. We do those listening, you do have to understand that with a caster curse, we do have a certain amount of power. That. What an absolute demo there. I don't know if they're going to be able to follow it up, but as casters, we do have power with caster cursing, so we are trying to make sure we keep it balanced as we continue with Michigan 1 goal up, and I was about to say on defense, but they're going to have a little bit of chaos here from the OKWU team. A shot on net, not going to meet its mark, and some rushing back is in order, as AJ will collect this and maybe go for a 50, pinch off the ground, something to pass it to his teammate. Quick follow-up from Elro, not going to make it, and we're back to a possible counterattack opportunity. I try to calm things down for my casting, and I'm immediately being met with some chaos as that pitch is off to the side, and AJ's going to send it forward.
Yeah, but the boost will be grabbed by NK, meaning that this is going to be a bit harder for AJ to stick around. Opts to just get out of the play, let his teammates take over. Elro will make it go high. Skeleton Jack will be the first one there. Oh, trying to go for a psycho? Ooh, I don't think it counts as a psycho, but it leads to an opportunity. It's a goal by Elro, but give the credit to AJ, because what a play by him.
Yeah, immaculate follow-up. Honestly, great play from AJ, but truthfully, good job from Elro to be able to track that, because if I was sitting there, I would not have known where that was going, and he was able to put himself in the right spot to follow that up, although AJ getting the fake. Not the best wave dash in the world. Skeleton Jack gonna be able to follow it up, and AJ has informed us he was going for a psycho, as he says Seiko in chat, but we're back to this 2-goal deficit for Michigan, and OKWU, NK with a very low boost, trying to put something on net. A decent follow-up comes through, and even with 0 boost, this Michigan team, they're holding on.
Yeah, AJ's able to break past the one. Skeleton Jack will be the one, though, to collect, though. I say that, Elro actually just dusts him. But a clear there by Knight. Out to Skeleton Jack, actually. A passing play will make things a bit sketchy here, man. There are so many Michigan players rushing for the same ball, it feels like, but AJ will be the first to it. We'll clear it out. But Knight spawns on the right side, using that choice of the matter to get optimal, but right now it's going to be another counterattack. Elro grabs the boost to make things a bit harder here. Nildar, where are they going to play this ball? They're playing it center. Really good choice by them, but the goal's not on. Where's the follow-up? It's so dicey if you're Michigan, and right now it's still their ball, but OKWU, they're back down 2 with a minute to go. They're back down 3 with a minute to go. They're going to have to make something happen or else they're on match point.
I mean, match point, truthfully, is looking like it's in the books right now. This is the largest lead, I think, that we've had this entire series, and they have less than a minute to try and get it figured out. So maybe some positive kickoffs is what they're looking for. A possible double coming here from NK. Off the crossbar! A beautiful shot attempt. That is what you want to see from this OKWU team. Not able to capitalize on it, and Elro is up. He does get decently close to the ball, but I think low boost was his enemy there. Nodar getting the flip reset to challenge this Michigan team, pulling out some nice mechanics to make sure they're keeping up this pressure. AJ is pre-jumping. Not able to get the touch, but OKWU on the defense and not getting the most confident clears.
Yeah, and with the time left, it feels next to impossible unless Knight can score there, but no. And with the time left, and with the time being burnt, it'll be 4-1 for the side of Michigan. It'll be 3-2 for the side of Michigan. It'll be match point for the side of Michigan, as we're gonna have to get ready to go to Neo Tokyo. What is that by Skeleton Jack? It doesn't matter in the end, but suddenly there's a game separating OKWU from the bottom.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Are we gonna have a break with these play-ins? Like, are we gonna have a moment to breathe? Because even in the games, like we have to be on our heels. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen. And I mean, I feel like this is probably the most confident lead that we've seen out of all the games. I think that's very fair to say. In this case, Michigan was controlling the pace. And I mean, again, they probably know that OKWU is a team that is comfortable with low scoring, a little bit more controlling the pace. And in this case, Michigan's just beating them to the ball. So maybe we'll see that in this upcoming game. Maybe OKWU can get a response, as we've seen them do so far in this series. Dude, I don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, the thing is, it feels like OKWU, when they try to play these low-scoring games, they got to be on top of everything. And it's just so hard to ask for when AJ especially is playing really well, and his squad is playing pretty well himself. And it's just, it makes it hard when you got to keep up with all of that. But on Neo Tokyo, will we see something happen? Will we go to Champions Field, or will OKWU be playing with their lives next time that they play after this map? So right now, it's going to be actually a shot from Skeleton Jack pretty early. Will be saved, but it is OKWU offense. But Nodart's finally able to clear. NK just waiting, puts it to the side, but Nodart's there. It's going to be Knight just going flying right by, and Michigan's on the offense now.
It is on the offense, and AJ has essentially a full tank of boost. He waits. He does get past one, not able to get past the next, although Elro coming off of the wall, Knight able to jump on that. NK, he's going to see what he can do with it. Skeleton Jack is demoing the entire other team, but Elro able to jump on that after I think he got a demo of his own. I will say I am liking some of this aggression. If you want to control the pace of a game, getting demos, making sure the other team is uncomfortable is a great way to go, and maybe that's a strategy that OKWU is trying to employ, as it looks like with maybe too much awkwardness on defense, Michigan's not going to be able to handle that slow roller towards net.
Yeah, it's just right under Elro. Elro is respecting the high shot, jumps, and just is caught completely off, and a minute time passes, and OKWU, they get that lead once more. But right now, he's gonna have to be careful. Elro gets a bit bumped off after kickoff. Good little play there by OKWU. I like the decision making. It's gonna be Skeleton Jack taking 50 here with AJ. Knight, I think, was getting bumped by No Dart. Makes it so hard to do stuff. And the physicality in this game is so much more than we've seen all series already.
Absolutely. I feel like we've kind of met the demo quota for the series just within the beginning of this game. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but that does just show that there is some changes that are trying to be made. And so far, at least so far, it is working, as Skeleton Jack probably gets the 500th bump of the game, and you know, we're only a minute and a half in, but so far on the positive end for OKWU.
Yeah, well, gonna get a little 50 there on AJ. Uses all his boost. It's gonna be put up the NK shot, maybe. No, it's just gonna be off the backboard. Skeleton Jack has to go all in. Shot will be off to the side, but there was 2 defenders in net. It was always gonna be a difficult one. The big thing is that they're kind of starved on boost right now. If they can break through, they can make something happen. And, well, they are trying to make something happen. No Dart's the one with the boost, but a miss there. It's a fake out. No, No Dart will be able to get the touch. Was the only one with the boost. But right now, it's feeling so dicey for the side of Michigan, as there's another opportunity. It's a shot. We'll get a huge save from AJ, but it goes high this one. It's going to be plenty of time for Michigan to recover, to recoup. And with the sidewall, it will mean that the offense that OKWU has gets a bit reset.
It will get a bit reset as a shot maybe coming through. I think he opted to try and go low there, hoping that the defender would dive, as OKWU going to immediately try and respond to this. Although some low boost from a lot of the players does mean that any kind of response isn't gonna be an immediate action. NK able to put a shot on net, or at least close to it, to maybe add some pressure, and a big chance at a 50 isn't gonna make it in, but that does mean that some good pressure is coming through. AJ passing it down to Nodar. Nodar taking a shot, gonna be a little wide. Knight gonna opt to put it up, and he will be there to follow it. He's gonna leave it this time. Skeleton able to put it off of the backboard. This will be heading straight back to it, and we'll see if Michigan can respond.
Yeah, well, right now, NK trying to stop AJ. Bumps him off the play. Double won't be able to happen, but Elro shot. It's also going to be a bit high, but Knight misses, but that shot's going to be completely off his head. Who gets the boost here? Elro gets the boost. That's a huge loss there for OKWU, but right now they're going to try to force this ball up and make sure it's a non-negotiable. And right now, well, it's going to be a save by No Art with that boost that he stole. Skeleton Jack is playing this so patiently. He's able to grab the mid boost, but does have to give up side of the field for it in return. But is able to grab onto this. AJ doesn't have boost. And right now, OKWU, they're on their back half. They're playing a bit of defense, and it's getting a bit more dicey because the more they play defense, the more Michigan has chances. More likely that a goal gets scored like this. No Art ties the game right up.
I will say, I feel like Michigan is dominating these 50s, especially with
so
that brief
much
moment that we saw with AJ in the corner just sitting there. Very low boost, if not none, able to just jump at the right time, make sure that he's behind the ball in the way that he needs to be, and that's what was getting a lot of this sustained potential for pressure, because
I did not see that opening happening.
No, I also did not see that opening
What happened?
happening. I think I think there was a bump in the corner.
Elro, you didn't go for boost on the respawn, did you? You have a right stick, man. Well, OKWU gets the lead again. Less than a minute to go. Makes things a bit hard here. That's actually a detrimental one, despite the tone I'm using from Elro, because suddenly that means they're down, and they're suddenly letting a chance for Game 7 here to happen if they're not careful. AJ's trying to make sure that doesn't exist, but with a 50 like that, it makes things a bit harder. Elro is able to make sure there's not an insurance goal here for the side of OKWU. He's trying to make sure baits one out. Maybe a double will center it towards AJ, but gets 50'd by Knight. Still, the boost is getting so dicey here, but no, it gets actually reset pretty well. The boost here is actually awkward for Michigan of all teams. And with the time ticking down, it's becoming a bit harder for them to close this series gap or match gap.
They do get a clear here, but I think that actually Knight not able to get it sent out far enough. It will sit in this corner and it will start rolling, but Elro able to follow it up. He's going to go off the wall. He doesn't have that much boost. Probably going to have to call someone to it. No, they're trying to jump in. And I think that was a good opportunity for Michigan to try and tie this back up, but it will not happen, and I mean, just like Texas Tech versus Delaware, we're going to Game 7.
I think we just hate sleep.
We might, honestly.
Honestly.
It's like past 11 here on the East Coast.
Yeah, just a bit. Also, 14 for 14 games today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sounding hype. I'm getting a bit tired, but like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Oku's able to tie the series up. We're going to Champions Field. I mean, it's a big one, right? You win this game, you have 2 lives. We were talking about in the last series. You lose, you're playing with fire for the rest of your time here in the summer circuit.
Yeah, I mean, this calls back to, I think, what I said. It was either after Game 4 or Game 5. Like, can we just take it chill for a moment? Can we just
I don't want to
get a
chill.
moment to breathe? Because
Give me 10 goals. Give me 10 goals.
10 goals.
10 goals.
I just want to have a game that I'm just like, okay, I feel like this is gonna happen, and then it happens because I have no clue. I have no clue what's happening in this series, and do you know what? That provides for a good broadcast. It's good television, as they would say, as we get underway on Champions Field. Almost a look at a possible kickoff goal here that will be put center, and a dunk comes through. AJ scores.
AJ scores, yes, but no R is the one that makes the big play. NK is just not certain what to do, and Knight tries their hardest to get in there in time and stop it, but can't quite do it, and suddenly, it's a big lead here for Michigan. And with every goal scored in Champions Field, it feels a bit more different than it would on Neo Tokyo. But Skeleton Jack past one. Can he dunk it? Almost so close off the crossbar. You can hear the rattle across the entire globe. But right now, it's Knight trying to make a save. He will do so. Will go high. No arch shot. Will be on target. Will go high again, but it's a double commit. AJ trying to put theirs on target. No arch. There's the goal. 2-goal lead for Michigan within 30 seconds.
Within 30 seconds, that is the important part. They're starting off early. I do feel like some of these games have, like, they've had their moments where the beginning is a little bit fast, but it's whether or not the momentum can stay in the team's favor that's scoring, because both of these teams have had moments where they're immediately fighting back after a team goes up and scoring, as that is very close to being on net. AJ trying to put it center again, but Knight, he's going to be on it. He does have a little boost, does fake out possibly a 50. It's going to be favorable for them, but Nodart following it up is able to get the second touch off the sidewall. Strong 50 from Elro. Knight, awkward position. Elro not able to get the boost. A bump does come through. NK not getting the touch that he wants. I don't think that was the touch that he wanted either. And OKWU probably looking like they're on the back foot right now, as there's some murders going on.
Yeah, but right now, it's the idea of just saving this ball right now from NK. Yeah, they'll put it off the side, but it's going to go to AJ, and right now, it's getting so awkward already if you are an OKWU squad. That pinch makes it so you're on defense again. Skeleton Jack, no boost, has to try to clear this out, but AJ is trying to make sure this is all Michigan, because it feels like it's all Michigan. The score proves that it's all Michigan right now, but NK is trying to break out. He gets a good touch, but he gets met by a teammate, and Knight's too close. Can't do anything about it. Elro, one-on-one. Skeleton Jack, what can you do? Gets bumped. Shot's a bit too high, but no, there's the follow-up. It's a 3-goal lead for Michigan, and OKWU, they gotta go to the drawing board real quick, because if they don't switch things up, it's only gonna get worse.
Is only going to get worse, and can I point out, that's been an assist from every single Michigan player. This is a full team effort that you are seeing from this Michigan team to try and close out this game, close out this series, and, well, close out a better chance to getting through to the playoffs, as another shot does come on net. Nodart getting bumped before he's able to catch up to it, and Michigan, they're going to have to control off of their own backboard. Some bumps possibly coming through, but AJ, he's going to be on it, not quite able to follow it. And Skeleton Jack, we're going to see what he can do off this sidewall.
Well, it's a shot on target. It's a good one, but gets saved by Elro. But the miss by NK means things are a bit more difficult here. Knight gets past AJ. 50 there, lateral. Skeleton Jack, though, they have the time, but takes too long. He just gets challenged, he gets jumped. And with half the clock gone now, 3 goes down, it becomes a bit more difficult. It means that time is slowly becoming more and more present. It means that they gotta be a bit more careful. Skeleton Jack beats one, but Nodart's there. There's been shots from the side of this team from OKWU, and that's a bit dicey. But it's going to be a 4th goal, and right now it's been all Michigan, and I have not seen a strand of OKWU having anything.
I agree with that. I think that's a very plain and simple, straight way to say it because, I mean, as you saw, I feel like it's a great example of just the start of that play that ended up developing as, you know, OKWU is not comfortable. Before that even happened, there was a miss that slowed down their attack, and then an awkward defense leads to a shooting opportunity that Michigan is gladly going to sit there and accept, and they're going to immediately take it. They're not going to slow down. They're not going to sit there and say, oh, wait, because
no.
if they know that their opponents are making mistakes and they're not comfortable, they'll sit there and wait. They'll make it awkward. They'll throw it to the ground randomly and say, hey, you have to possess that. They'll throw it towards the corner of your net and say, you got to get a good save or else we're going to be on it. And in this case, OKWU, they're not able to handle it, and Michigan is taking it the full way.
Yeah, and it's a 5-goal lead, and at this point, it's feeling a bit more hopeless. It's feeling a bit more definitive if you are side of OKWU, but Nenke is able to dodge a bump. It's going to be a net. It's going to be a shot. No, AJ's there. It's going to be a goal, though, finally, from Skeleton Jack. And with 100 seconds and 4 goals, I'm not going to say it's over quite yet, because there is some ways back in, but you will need to pull off a miracle of miracles if you are OKWU.
Yeah, and it should start off with some positive ends of kickoff possession, of possibly a kickoff play, and I don't think that's what we're going to see.
I think we saw the opposite.
I think we saw a possible, I don't want to say counter, but a possible retaliation off of an attempted kickoff play, as there might have been, I don't want to call it hesitation, but maybe some slow play here from OKWU to try and just dictate the pace a little bit as the ball immediately got into play, and it backfired.
Yeah, it backfires one way to put it. AJ, oh my goodness, AJ. To give the Brazil, man, that is disgusting. The Eagles have had their wings plucked as they get Braziled here by Michigan on Game 7.
We still have a minute and 30 to go. We still have a decent chunk of game to go, and they're up by 6 goals? That is absolutely absurd, as, I mean, this ball might be heading to the Michigan side, but they haven't shown any slight inconfidence as for whether or not they can manage an attack that comes from this OKWU team. And even with 0 boost, Nodard has all the time in the world to clear that out. There's no one jumping on it because I think the lack of boost was mutual in that case. And AJ, with practically full, able to get behind that and able to possess it in this midfield. They just have their way. They just have control. They have possess, and there's nothing that OKWU can do about it.
Yeah, well, there might be a goal here finally for the side of OKWU, but it's a too little, too late. But hey, you remember the 10 goals I was talking about?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, we're on the way. Hey guys, you mind real quick? That'd be real convenient for me. But no, really, I mean, it's a statement game from Michigan. It was a close series until it wasn't from them. And well, the 10th goal won't quite arrive here, as will be a save by Knight, but as these 20 seconds wane away, AJ's gonna try. Can't quite do it either. It's gonna be a save by Skeleton Jack. Maybe it'll be Skeleton Jack trying to make something happen. Nuki, no, gets saved as well. But as we're hitting the 10-second mark, Michigan has made their point known. You cannot write them off. They might not have had the run that they wanted in their group, but they were in a group of death. And now, they're making their way to the next round of the uppers as they put OKWU into the lower. And well, a Game 7 that it was all Michigan.
It was all Michigan the whole way through. Right off of the rip, Michigan said, we're taking this game. There have been moments of hesitation. There have been moments where just because you start scoring right off the bat doesn't mean that that's how the series is going to play out. But Michigan didn't want any of that. Michigan sat there. They said, we know how to win this game. We know how to be in your face. We know how to get what we want done. And they did it. And I mean, I don't think there's a better way to show it than a 7-2 victory, other than, I don't know, more goals, maybe, because that was domination.
Oh, I mean, it was domination, like you're saying. It was genuinely. I don't think we've seen anything like it for a game 7, especially. Maybe we've seen it in a game every once in a while, but game 7? I mean, it's unheard of. But Michigan have absolutely shown that they belong here, and well, it does send them into upper round 2, and well, I think we are near getting a player here to join us. Am I correct in saying that? I feel like it was mentioned to us. I
Yes,
think
I
it's a work in
believe
progress.
we will get an interview at the end here, because I mean, I believe it's going to be Elra. I definitely want to chat. All things
I would
considered,
love to
like,
chat.
I want to chat, because as much as that game had its first 6 that were back and forth, right? I do feel like there was this hint of things that OKWU obviously able to get their moments here and there and take a game, but it wasn't the dominant play style. It wasn't the kind of play style that should have won the series.
Yeah. Well,
It was only
unfortunately,
a play style to survive.
yeah. But I think Michigan, they did have a lot of killer instinct. And well, they had a player that was a key part of their victory tonight. We got AJ here. And well, AJ, congrats on the victory, firstly.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank you
think
very much.
we'll start off right here. I mean, we had a game 7 earlier. We asked about the players out. I think we're gonna ask the same question to you. It was a bit of a back and forth series. Game 7 was a bit easier, but how was it? Obviously, you had to fight your way here, and then able to win it here in Game 7 and move on. How's that feeling for the squad?
I mean, it feels absolutely amazing. The last 2 matches that we've had, I mean, all respect to our opponents in those last 2 matches, Texas Tech and Kentucky, but we as a team felt like we could have won those. It could have gone our way. So it was really, a big uplift to be able to win this year in Game 7, especially when our last game record as a team in this league is not so great. But it felt good to win it, especially in Game 7. And I have to say, first 10 seconds of that Game 7 with that kickoff goal where No Dart had that fake and it was just a dunk to finish for us. Just like, oh, it's going down. It's going down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of something that's more of a confidence boost. Honestly, like, sit there, you're like, okay, tied. It's game 7. We got to start locking in right off the bat. You're just immediately like, we're here. We're gonna do stuff. I will say we've been talking about that game 7. I am gonna pull us back just a little bit and just get general thoughts on the whole series, because it was back and forth. And something that we were talking about just before you joined the call was that it did seem like your guys' playstyle was the prevailing playstyle, even though Oku was able to take a game or 2 here and there. Was there any feeling throughout those that, you felt like an underlying confidence you were gonna take it? Or did you feel like there had to be a decent amount of kickback for you guys in order to end up taking the series?
I will say we mostly carried our play style in from our match against Kentucky. And I definitely felt like we could win that. And then going through the match, especially, there was a lot of back and forth. I definitely felt that. But I think mostly for me, in my mind, whenever we were losing a game or we had lost a game, I mostly felt it was because our play style had been shifted, or I wasn't playing how I really thought I should be playing, or, one of us was making some play style errors that game. I felt like it was something we needed to work on and knew how to work on for the next game going in. And I think we managed to do that pretty well.
Yeah, 100%. But I think looking towards the future, your opponent will be either Western Kentucky or Nebraska JV. I'm going to tie it into 2 questions here, actually. I guess, firstly, between those 2 teams, who do you think is going to win it? Western Kentucky, Nebraska JV, and then who do you want to play the most, either here in the play-ins or in the playoffs? What team left is there that you want to face?
Well, for teams I want to face, without question, I want to play Texas Tech again because I feel like that was kind of an embarrassing loss for us just because of the mistakes that we were having that series just all around. And I really love a chance to get to go against them again. For the match coming up, you said it was against Western Kentucky
And
or
Nebraska JV.
and Nebraska JV. That's right. Okay. Well, for a team I'd rather play, I think I'd rather play against Nebraska JV just because we've played Nebraska varsity, and I'm gonna have a little bit of wishful thinking that there's maybe some play style crossover there, some strategy crossover that we'll be able to take into that match. I'm just looking at the group standings here, and then it was looking like Western Kentucky was in Group D. So, Western Kentucky, it looks like they played against our fellow Michigan team, C++. So maybe if we're up against Western Kentucky, we could get some advice from them on what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's straightforward. That is to the point, and it's always nice, even maybe a chance to get a little bit of a little bit of kickback there, because if I'm remembering correctly, did WKU take the game against Michigan plus plus? I
believe so.
could be remembering wrong.
I'm pretty
So
sure they did.
might be able to get some revenge there for Michigan C++ in that
Hey,
case.
revenge
But
sounds nice.
yeah, that
Revenge
does
sounds
sound
very nice.
That sounds very nice, but we will just have to see. So I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to let you off. Thank you for stepping in for the interview. Thank you for the wonderful series. And I mean, wow, just amazing last game.
Of course. Thank you guys for hosting it.
Of course. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah, but that was Michigan rescheduled 4-3 OKWU. But I think the playoffs here. Oh, our colors just changed. That is interesting.
Ooh, I like green.
Ooh,
I like
like
the
green.
green. Truthfully, I would like the blue. Honestly, I think the blue would actually. No,
It's
I
a
have some green
very
in my background. And my eyes are like a lime. So maybe I have some good accenting.
Hey,
There we
there we
are.
go.
Now we're
Hey.
back.
Anyways, I think we have a play-in bracket here that is updated to match what everything currently looks like. And as you can see, the two game results from tonight do show up. We have ourselves Delaware up there and up around 2, as well as Michigan down here. But the games to look out for the play-ins tomorrow: Clemson versus Michigan C++ will take on Delaware. WKU Nebraska JV will take on Michigan. But then over on the loser side, you gotta be careful, because if you lose between Clemson and Michigan C++, there's a Texas Tech down there that is waiting to fight as hard as they can. And WKU Nebraska JV, well, it's the same exact story. It's not easy for any of these squads. You gotta fight tooth and nail to even make your way into the top 12.
100%. And those teams in the bottom, they're gonna be hungry. They're gonna be thirsting for blood, because so far, at least, these have all been game 7. These series, at least looking at it on paper, have been close the whole way through. So I wouldn't be surprised if Texas Tech, I wouldn't be surprised if OKWU are both sitting there like, do you know what? We should be up there. We should be the ones making it through to that playoff A, playoff B. So there are going to be some dangerous teams down there that want to at least make it through that lower rounds to get into that top 12, as you said. But we will have to wait for the rest of upper round 1 to finish. So we'll have to see what that action looks like coming tomorrow, and then the rest of it playing out as the weeks go on.
Yeah, obviously this week will be the play-ins, but next week obviously will be the beginning of the playoffs, where there is so much action to come. I think we have a showing of what that bracket looks like, what to expect over there, a little teaser of what to expect in the playoffs, because there's so many more matches to add here in the MCC. As you can see, obviously Penn State, Kentucky, we got that Kansas State, Iowa State, UCF, CSU, you have Nebraska, Utah. You lose those, you got some teams that came in from the play-ins that we are currently watching this week. Well, they'll be right there waiting. But that sounds like a future thing. But tomorrow is some more play-ins actions. So I think it's time to call a night here. But thank you so much for joining the Meridian Collegiate Conference here tonight. And we hope to see you here tomorrow. But we wish you a good night.